Hello, welcome back to the Fred in the Shed channel and a review of these Retevis RT388, amazingly cheap 8-channel PMR walkie talkies. In a moment we'll open the box and have a closer look at the radio, look at their features, and then I'll take them outside and we'll give them a test. But before we do any of that, have to discuss the price. In the UK on Amazon, two radios, a pair of radios, just £16.79 delivered. That's about $20 US and about 19 euros. These small 8-channel radios come in a variety of bright coloured cases and they're aimed mostly for kids, and I think that is a great thing. I think it's brilliant. We should get kids into radio at an early age. Now, I remember myself growing up in the 1970s, I had a couple of sets of those FM walkie-talkies, and I think they were probably one of my favourite toys. And yeah, I know I'm getting old and I know things change, but I still think kids can get a great deal of enjoyment out of radio walkie-talkies. We've got the Easter half-term holidays coming up, so maybe treat your kids or your grandkids to a pair of these. It might just start an interest. It might just be a little seed, start an interest into the world of radio, and then maybe they'll go play with dad's or granddad's bigger radio. It might start the hobby off, you never know. Although these radios are quite cheap, they're still fully functional PMR radios. 8-channel PMR 446 MHz at half a watt, so full UK legal. Has 100 CTC SS privacy codes. I'll explain about that in a moment, but it's quite important if you're going to let kids use these radios. Channel lock feature, Vox hands-free feature, 10 call tones or Roger beeps, scan feature, built-in LED flashlight, monitor squelch brake button, battery level indicator which flashes when the batteries become low. The radios use standard AAA battery cells. You can fit rechargeable batteries if you like, and the radio does have a jack on the top there, which if you have the appropriate lead you can charge the batteries in the radio. That jack also doubles up as a headset, and if you wanted to use that. 2-year Retevis warranty, and the radios are completely compliant with all RF exposure standards, so safe for kids. Whew, thank God I got through that. So let's have a quick look inside of the box. I ordered the black pair, but as I say, it comes in plenty of different colours. I have opened this before and put the batteries in. Inside the box, well, not a great deal really. An EU compliance regulation leaflet. Comes with full instructions. Not bad, slightly pidgin English as you'd expect, but it does explain on all of the functions and features. These are pretty easy to get along with. And then we've got the radios themselves, and I must say, I'm just amazed really how these are. I mean, these are literally £8 each, aren't they? And they feel really nice. I was really surprised when I first handled them. They don't really feel like kids' toys. Okay, not Yaesu or Kenwoods, but quite impressive. Quick look around the buttons on the front of the radio. First button, the bright LED torch, always good with the kids. Then moving down from that, we have a scan feature button there. So scans the 8 channels. Call tone button. Again, this has 10 to choose from. You can call the other radio. Then we have the large talk button there, push to talk. Yeah, that's not bad. I prefer it on the side myself, but I think for kids that'll be absolutely fine. Monitor button, which I said, that breaks the squelch just to check that the channel is clear. Can also help if the radios are a large distance apart and the signal is getting weak. Then we've got the basic up and down buttons. Now, this controls the volume by default. Personally, I prefer if it would control the channel select there. That's just the way it works. Now, to change the channel select, you have to press the menu key once, and then you can go up and down the 8 channels, and then press the talk button just to lock that in place. And we've got the menu button. Now, I won't go through all of the features, but this is where you would turn on your Vox hand-free. You would operate a channel lock or change the 10 different call tones or Roger beeps. You also use the menu to change the 100 CTC SS privacy codes. How this works in a nutshell, these radios are 8 channels, but they also have got those 100 sub-channels. They need to be both on the same channel and also the same sub-channel to be able to communicate. So that means that if someone else is walking around the area with another PMR radio, unless by chance they are on the same subcode, and bearing in mind there's 100, they will not be able to talk to these 2 radios. So it just keeps your kids that little bit safer if you don't want them talking to people that you might not want them talking to. Also, it keeps other people safe. For example, let's say you live near shops or businesses that might be using one of the 8 PMR channels. Once again, unless by chance they're on the same 100 subcode, your kids won't be able to talk to them and won't cause a nuisance. A good feature. I'm glad it's on these radios because at this price it's really, really good that's included. We'll take these outside and do a short range test in a moment, but just the feel of the radio, it's just amazing they can produce something for this price. I mean, there is absolutely no give in this case at all. No creaks, no groans. It's a hard plastic shell. I suppose it would take a small drop, a heavy drop, or maybe one from a bicycle or something. Yeah, I think it probably would cause it a little bit of damage. On the back of the radio there, got a belt clip, not sprung or anything, just a plastic. And then you've got the battery compartment. Like I say, AAA batteries, always best to use alkaline batteries. Battery life depends how often the kids are going to use it. Can use rechargeables, and the little 2.5mm jack in the top there. If you've got the appropriate lead, of course, you can charge the batteries in the radio. And as I said before, you can get a standard 2.5mm headset if you wanted to do that. I don't suppose many people will. Fixed semi-hard plastic antenna, full UK legal. Going to do a transmission test now. With PMR radios, I've said this before, you don't get an awful lot of range out of them. They're very much line of sight. That's not a bad thing. If you're thinking of giving these to kids, you don't want them talking to people miles away. I think typically out of PMR radios, you're probably only going to get a couple of 100 meters out of these. That's what I'll be testing when I go outside, but mainly we're just going to be listening for the audio quality to make sure that they transmit cleanly without any interference or buzzing, things like that. So let's go outside, leave one in the shack, and let's see what they sound like. So here we go. I couldn't go to my usual spot. They were putting up scaffolding. I've put a couple of rows of houses between me and the other radio, approximately probably about 180 to 190 meters, so not too far, but probably the distance that you'd want your kids to use the radio. Let's give it an audio check and see what it sounds like. Yeah, audio check, 1 2 1 2 audio.
Yeah, audio check, 1 2 1 2 audio, about 180 meters from the QTH. Audio 1 2.
There we go. We'll just check that little Roger beep call as well. And that's it. Let's get back to the shack and see what it sounds like. Currently £16.79 delivered for the pair on Amazon. I'm going to be real cheeky with Retevis, and because I've made a few videos for them now, I'm going to ask if they might possibly consider a Fred in the Shed discount code to get that price down even more. I don't know if I'll get away with that. Just check out the description. If I do get a code, I'll put it in there. Final words on the video. Well, I would have loved a pair of radios like this back in the 1970s, 8 channels, longer range than I had, and I will be giving this pair of radios away to my great niece and nephew. You never know, it just might plant the seed, and one day they might enjoy the great hobby of radio like the rest of us. The kids are the future, aren't they? But that's it for now on this video. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's been useful. There's the thumbs up from Fred in the Shed. Please just take a moment to drop me a thumbs up before you go, I'd appreciate that. But as always, take care of yourself, stay safe, catch you on the next one. Cheers guys.